true crime podcast where best friends and next door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I hath seen the Barbie movie.
She hath.
And it was good. I give it a 9 out of 10. It was very funny. Go watch it and make Ben Shapiro mad. Okay, so that's all the chit-chat you're going to get. Thank you all for making the Barbie movie happen. I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, there was a lot of really great messages and things said about your anniversary, and it was all real gay and real cute and really lovely, and yes. I loved it.
Yes, love is good.
Love is gross.
Yeah, so I want to first talk about how nerdy this subject is and how much I love it.
Yes.
I don't consider myself an entomologist, even in a junior capacity, but I'm an insect enthusiast. And
you know a lot.
I do know a lot.
You know a lot. You know enough to be compared to an entomologist compared to like the normal person who doesn't know anything.
I'm not quite at junior entomologist level, but I strive to learn more about it every day because I think insects are beautiful and fascinating.
Fucking cool.
They're just and forensic entomology. Oh, very cool.
I'm so excited. You told me just the subject of just that before I came over, and I'm excited.
It's very cool. So I'm in a trigger warning, content warning one because I'm covering 2 cases here, and they're both forensic firsts. But I want one of them is particularly rough, and so one of it is gross bug stuff. Because, hey, some of y'all don't like hearing about stuff like maggots. It freaks you out, and I understand. Click away, because that's all this is. Child death, domestic violence, and graphic depiction of remains. So we're just going to get into it. Sometimes it's the little things that make a difference. And what I find really interesting about this month is that forensic firsts come in steps on the shoulders of science that came before it. Other discoveries that were seemingly unrelated. And forensic entomology is no exception. So what is forensic entomology? It is the study of insects and how they interact with crime scenes. Like the last case I did, I will be showcasing an older case where forensic entomology was developed, then another case 70 years later that used forensic entomology to convict a family annihilator. It was July 2003 in Bakersfield, California, on an unremarkable Tuesday morning. Joni Harper, mother of 3, hadn't answered her phone in a few days. And this was unusual because Joni, a very social woman, was always on her phone and always answered or returned calls. As a mother of 3, you have to, you know?
Absolutely.
It could be school, it could be doctor's appointments, things like that. That no one had heard from the Harper family in a couple days was alarming. Joni's best friend, Kelsey Spann, knows something is very wrong. She had last seen Joni and her children at church on July 6th. Joni was showing off her 6-week-old baby, Marshall, to fellow churchgoers.
Oh, my God.
But after that, no one heard from Joni again. So Kelsey decided to check on her and her children. Kelsey especially felt uneasy because Joni's husband, Vincent Brothers, was out of town visiting his brother in Ohio. She tried to let herself into the Harper household, but found that the front door wouldn't open, even though she used a key that Joni had given her. Undaunted, she went around to the back door, found it unlocked, and proceeded into the dark and silent house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Kelsey opened the door to Joni's bedroom and found her best friend face down on the bed, shot several times in the head and back. She had also been stabbed. On the bed with her were her children.
Oh, my God.
Kelsey saw 6-month-old Lindsay first. She was in her little blue dress. She wasn't 6 months old. Excuse me. I got that wrong.
6 weeks.
No, Lindsay was 23 months old.
Oh.
She was laying on her left side. She'd been shot once in the back. 4-year-old Marquez was found under a sheet lying next to his mother. His eyes were wide open. He'd been shot once in the right side of the head. He had clearly witnessed the killing and the killer. He'd been so frightened that he had put his little fingers in his mouth, to self-soothe. Yeah. And he had bitten nearly through them in fear. At first, Kelsey didn't see baby Marshall. Investigators missed him at first, too. But when they moved Joni's body, they found the baby boy under a pillow. He had been shot in the back like his sister. Someone had shot and killed a 6-week-old baby who couldn't identify them or hurt them in any way.
Right.
Kelsey called 911 immediately, and investigators arrived on the scene shortly after the call came in at 7 a.m. on July 8th, 2003. First, they encountered Joni's mother, Ernestine, laying dead in the hallway next to her bedroom door.
Holy shit.
She had been shot twice in the face at close range. The entire family was dressed in their Sunday best.
Oh my God, it was right after church, right after she had seen them. Oh, my heart.
It's clear that Joni had laid on the bed for a nap after church with her babies when someone came into the house and took away a beautiful family. Investigators immediately sprung into action because of the outcry of the neighborhood. Yeah. Combing the Harper home for forensic evidence that might lead to whoever had done this to this beautiful family. They found no evidence of forced entry. All victims had been shot execution style with the exception of Joni, who had also been stabbed multiple times. Stabbing, especially multiple times, is a very personal killing.
Right. Absolutely.
Neighbors didn't report hearing anything unusual on the night of the 6th, when investigators believed the family was murdered. Robbery hadn't been a motive because no valuables were taken. Investigators found no strange fingerprints or hair and no fibers that shouldn't have been there at the scene. Only one member of the family from that house was left alive. Joni's estranged husband, Vincent Brothers. Mm-hmm. Vincent and Joni had a complicated relationship. The two married in 2000 after the 1998 birth of their son, Marquez, but the marriage was annulled in 2001 because Joni claimed she had no idea he'd been married twice before because he lied about it. Regardless of their on and off again status, friends and families would state that Joni truly loved Vincent, and Vincent was a pillar of the community. He was vice principal at Fremont Elementary School, and it seemed like the two of them were doing well, especially after the birth of their third child, Marshall, only 6 weeks before the murders. However, Vincent and Ernestine, Joni's mother, had a falling out shortly before he went on his trip, and he was no longer living in the home, though he was there frequently to see Joni and his children. There were also rumors that Vincent had been unfaithful. When investigators brought Vincent in for an interview, not only was he bereaved and clearly very upset, but he had brought proof that he'd been out of state when the murders occurred. He had credit card records that showed his card being used in Ohio on July 6th, the day of the murders. He was 2,200 miles away when they were killed. There was no apparent motive, and Vincent seemed to have an airtight alibi. The case is almost immediately going cold. Investigators, desperate for a lead in this case, call Vincent back in for a second interview, even though at this point he's not really under suspicion. They believed his alibi. They just wanted to go over some things to see if he could think of anyone who might have wanted to harm his family. But instead of the former grieving husband and father who was helpful, they find him uncooperative this time around. And he refuses to answer any more questions and stonewalls investigators. And this made them suspicious.
Clearly.
Duh, you know?
Yeah.
Most fathers would want to work with and talk to police if their children and the mother of their children had been murdered.
I would be camped out at that police station.
You'd want to know how they died.
I would be up those investigators' butts. I would be wanting answers.
Calling every day, multiple times a day.
Absolutely.
You would want to know how they died even though it hurt.
Yeah.
He never asked. Not once. Because he knew. He didn't need to ask.
Right.
Uh-huh. Gosh, you would want to talk to police. And I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think that you would. You'd want answers. So investigators decide to start poking at that alibi. Records showed that Vincent had indeed flown from Bakersfield to Columbus, Ohio on July 2nd, 2003. When Vincent arrived in Columbus, he rented a car, a Dodge Neon. Vincent claimed he'd only used the car to get around Columbus to see his family, but when detectives looked at the rental car records, they discovered he had put 5,424 miles on that car. Vincent couldn't provide an explanation for the high mileage.
Dear God.
Investigators believe that Vincent drove the car from Columbus to Bakersfield, back to Columbus, but they had to prove it. Part of the issue was that his fingerprints, hair, and DNA were all over that house. He was there frequently, so that evidence wouldn't prove anything. They needed something else. Detectives fly to Columbus to inspect the car. Unfortunately, the car rental company had already cleaned the interior and the exterior pretty thoroughly. But then detectives find something. Insects are mashed into the grill and radiator of the car. This gives the main detective on the case, Watts, an idea. But it's a wild idea, and it's never been done in Bakersfield before. He wonders if an entomologist, a scientist who studies insects, can tell where the car has been based on what species of insect are lodged in the grill and radiator of this car. And I think that is fucking genius.
That is not a question I would think to ask.
But he said he just had this hunch, and he knew it was crazy, but he wanted to follow up on it. What a brilliant man.
Yes.
Detective Watts had no idea if this would work because it hadn't been done before.
Right.
So Watts contacted an entomologist. And I just think that's the coolest shit in the world. So I want to talk a little bit now about how entomology sort of grew and evolved and kind of where it started. Because used to, people just did not think about bugs.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Absolutely.
They didn't even know where maggots came from, but we'll get to that.
Huh.
In 1828, Charles Darwin kind of brought the study of insects into kind of the mainstream because he was fascinated and obsessed with these little beetles that he found all over the countryside in England. And I just think that's cool. Then in 1902, a British doctor named Sir Ronald Ross discovers a malaria parasite in the gut of mosquitoes. This led to the discovery that malaria is transmitted via mosquito bite. And his work ends up saving millions of lives. And all of these studies didn't directly solve crimes, but helped pave the way. It wouldn't be until 1935 that insects would first be used to solve a series of grisly murders called the Jigsaw murders.
Are these in London?
It's in actually
in the UK?
It's in the UK, yes.
I almost covered this. I looked at it. I glanced at it. Oh my God.
Very fascinating.
Okay, keep going. Yes.
At the London Natural History Museum, you will find a very unassuming specimen jar containing preserved maggots. Yeah. This little jar changed forensic science forever. The jar is known as the Ruxton maggots. What a name.
Sounds like a baseball team.
Right. On September 14th, 1935, 2 women went missing in Lancaster, England. Isabella Ruxton and her maid, Mary Rogerson, hadn't been seen by anyone. Isabella was the wife of a surgeon named Dr. Buck Ruxton, who was kind of a pillar of the community. If you notice, these 2 cases weirdly dovetail.
He's a surgeon. I was going to do this during medical murders.
Uh-huh.
Ah, girl. I keep wanting to poetry snap to tonight.
Yeah, right? Their bodies would be found at the bottom of a ravine 100 miles from their home by hikers. They had been dismembered, and their remains were very badly decomposed. They'd been out in the elements of Moffat, Scotland, for no one knew how long. They didn't know those type of things back then. The remains were wrapped in newspaper and old clothing. At first, they were so badly decomposed they weren't immediately able to identify these people. They couldn't even tell if both bodies were female because they only had one torso.
Right.
All investigators had to go on for a while was that they believed the murders were carried about by somebody with some surgical knowledge, given how the remains were dismembered. They knew the bodies were female. They assumed because of the length of bones and stuff and the height that they were both female, and but they weren't sure pelvis. Yes. Well, they didn't have the torso of one.
Okay.
And so they weren't sure.
You can usually tell by femurs.
But that's about it. They had no idea who these women were. Then they took a look at the newspaper the bodies had been wrapped in and discovered the paper was from Lancaster. Investigators then narrowed down the possibilities to the 2 missing women, but they had to make sure the time frame of when they went missing added up to the evidence on hand.
Right.
So investigators contacted an entomologist named Dr. A.G. Mearns at the University of Edinburgh. Edinburgh. What a cute name. I like saying it with my mouth.
I want to go there. Their architecture is beautiful.
Maris has been because he's a cunt. He studied he studied art in England for a summer because he's an asshole.
That's so cool.
And he went to Edinburgh and he said that it is like Count Dracula town and he wants to move there.
I have to go and take photographs.
For real.
Yeah.
Part of why they turned to Dr. Mearns is because the flesh of the heads of the women had been removed as well as their hair and eyes. Mm-hmm. They had to prove that these remains had only been in that ravine by a riverbank for a couple of weeks and not a couple of months. So I can't fucking talk today. So investigators wondered if someone who was familiar with insects could tell how long the remains had been there based on the life cycle of the maggots.
Yeah. Yes. I love this shit.
Fucking
it's
too.
So interesting.
Maggots implied that the remains hadn't been there months, but weeks. Mm-hmm. Investigators just had to prove it. In the long ago times, that's my narrator voice, people thought maggots just came out of the body when someone died. They just thought the dead body generated maggots.
Oh, really?
That is correct.
Oh, that's so weird. What a weird thing to think.
They thought all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, but that would mean that they would have to be in your body while you're living. Ugh.
But they didn't realize that flies, specifically the blowfly, will lay eggs on dead bodies only moments after death. This wasn't proven until the 1600s when an Italian physician named Francesco Redi did an experiment. Redi put rotten meat in 2 glass containers. So in one of the containers he covered with some cloth, and the other one he left open. Now, flies were attracted to both containers,
right,
but maggots only appeared on the meat in the uncovered jar. So Redi discovered that maggots, in fact, came from flies.
And
fucking rad.
Flies.
And that they are flies.
Yeah.
They're just baby flies.
Yeah. Baby flies.
So it's all these little, seemingly unrelated events that build upon something like forensic entomology.
Yeah.
In the 1800s, French physician Bergeret d'Arbois.
Oh, nice.
I'm speaking French up in here. Parlez français. Mercy bucket.
Mercy bucket.
So he studied the life cycles of insects. He postulated that you could determine the cause of death, the time of death based on insect activity on the body, and he was right.
Yes.
In 1894, entomologist Jean-Pierre Megnin wrote a book called The Fauna of Corpses, which I have.
Really?
I've had it for a long time, yeah. Which it's not. I don't have it in English, and it's just really cool thing to have.
I've heard about it because I really liked studying the body farms.
Oh yes, fascinating. Mm-hmm. This revealed that there are 8 stages of human decomposition, and that blowflies are the first insects to arrive on a dead body. Mm-hmm. In 1935, back to our murder case, Dr. Mearns is going to take the hundreds of years of knowledge from those who came before him to help solve this case. One of the first things investigators do in a murder case is determine the time of death, and Dr. Mearns was about to do it for the first time with maggots. And I didn't know this, but blowflies are attracted to dying bodies, so they show up even before someone dies.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know, they know.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Me uncomfortable.
I find it both super gross, creepy, and fascinating all at once.
Well, it's like that that death guy trope that like the death shows up
and then flies
before you die.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Lord of the Flies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Okay. This is interesting. I love this.
The female blowfly can lay up to 250 eggs. These eggs will hatch into maggots, thus beginning their life cycle.
250.
That's a lot. As the maggots feed on the corpse, they will get larger and molt. You can determine how long a body has been somewhere based on the size of the maggots on the corpse. When collecting insect evidence, investigators will go for the largest maggots because they will be from the first hatch.
Yep.
A body left out to decompose will have many stages of maggots on it, but the first hatch maggots will tell you almost precisely how long a body has been there, thus giving, at the time, a rough but close estimate to the time of death. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Mearns, I can't say his name, was doing this all by himself with no previous data. Can you imagine being the first person to do something like this?
Right.
I think it's very cool.
Right.
So he has to start his own experiments and compile his own data to determine how long the bodies in Moffat, Scotland had been in that ravine. Investigators had taken the maggots from the corpses and preserved them for Dr. Mearns because they were fucking smart. Mm-hmm. This was no small task. There are 1,100 species of blowfly, and each one has its own very unique life cycle. He had to not only find out what stage of life the maggots he had were at, but also what species of blowfly they were from. Mm-hmm. And y'all, it's hard to differentiate between different species of blowflies based on their larval stage. Maggots.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially without DNA.
He didn't have any of that shit.
Yeah.
After a lot of hard work, Dr. Mearns was able to identify the species of blowfly as Calliphora vicina, or its common name, the blue bottle fly. After identifying the species, he then set out to calculate the duration of their life cycle. Blue bottle fly eggs hatch in 24 hours after being deposited on a corpse. Over the first couple days, they can grow up to 5 millimeters. Then they molt on the third day. The next stage, which happens between day 4 and 5, they double in size to 10 millimeters. By day 7, they're at the final larval stage and can reach up to 14 to 16 millimeters. At 14 days, they pupate and go into a cocoon, and it takes 3 weeks for the adult flies to emerge from their pupal stage.
So it's definitely within a 2-week period, no matter what.
Yes. No matter what. If you're finding maggots, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, on that species alone.
Okay.
So, because there's different species that do it different.
Yeah.
Yes. The largest maggots pulled from the bodies are nearly 15 millimeters long. So this tells Dr. Mearns they're in the final part of their larval stage, which means the bodies had been in the ravine for approximately 4 to 7 days. This meant that Isabella and Mary matched the timeline, and thus they were identified. Once identified, investigators brought in Dr. Buck Ruxton, what a name, in for questioning. He was a surgeon, but they still needed to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the bodies belonged to Mary and Isabella. Investigators had recovered a hand from the ravine, and it was pretty badly decomposed. And the reason they were like really focused on this hand is that Mary actually had her fingerprints on file for like some petty crime or some shit. Mm-hmm. So they soaked the hand in hot water and were able to get fingerprints that matched.
I've seen that done. That's so wild. There's a word for it.
I forget it
it's
now.
It's like hydro something.
Yes.
But yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's just amazing.
That's really fascinating.
To prove the other body belonged to Isabella, they took a photo of her from her house, like an old photograph. Then they took a photo of the skull at the same angle as the photograph, and it matched perfectly. Now Dr. Ruxton claimed that Mary and Isabella had left to go to Edinburgh, and he hadn't seen them since. Investigators would need to prove he'd committed the murders. They believed he'd done it because when interviewed and informed his wife and maid were murdered, Dr. Ruxton had no reaction. In addition, as I've said, he was a surgeon, so this made him suspect number 1. Due to Dr. Mearns' evidence, they knew the bodies had been placed in the ravine sometime either on the 16th, 17th, or 18th. Of September. So investigators asked Dr. Ruxton about his whereabouts on those dates. He told investigators he had been seeing patients all over Lancaster, and his patients vouched for him, but only for the 17th and 18th. No one saw the doctor on the 16th. So now investigators knew they had to prove that Isabella and Mary were placed in that ravine on the 16th. So they go back to Dr. Mearns to see what else the maggots can tell them. Dr. Mearns has a sudden, bolt of inspiration. And this is what really turns things around. I just love this so much.
No, I'm glued, yeah.
He suspects that weather could affect the growth of the maggots.
Yes.
Maggots are cold-blooded, so the weather definitely affects their growth. The warmer it is, the faster they grow. The colder it is, the slower they grow. And so he consulted a farmer's almanac, and he learned that it was particularly cold on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Mearns developed formulas to calculate larval age that also took into account the weather at the time. His methods are still used today by forensic entomologists.
Wow.
And I just get the chills.
Yeah, that's so fucking fascinating, dude.
Man.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really cool.
I'm pumped.
I love that he mathematically figured it out too. Like he
didn't fuck around.
No, yeah, he left an entire blueprint for others to use. That's really brilliant.
With this new information, Dr. Mearns narrows down the day to the 16th, when Buck Ruxton didn't have an alibi. But they needed more than bug evidence because it was new, so investigators went to the media and asked if there were any witnesses, if anyone had seen anything suspicious on the 16th, the day they believed Mary and Isabella were murdered and placed in the ravine in Moffat, Scotland. They are flooded with tips, and one proves useful. A man witnessed a hit-and-run accident in Edinburgh, Scotland on September 16th. A speeding car knocked a man off a bicycle and didn't stop to render aid. The driver accelerated faster and just kept going. The man on the bicycle wasn't hurt and was able to write down the license plate number of the car who hit him. So when they traced the plate, whose plate was it?
Mr. Buck Ruxton, that's who.
That's right. So this puts him near where the bodies of his wife and maid were found on the day they were dumped, according to Dr. Mearns.
A potential homicide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Police return to Ruxton's house and serve him with a search warrant. Here they find way more evidence, including traces of blood on the walls and the carpet. They discover a blood-stained suit witnesses said that Ruxton tried to give away after his wife went missing because he's an idiot.
Tried to give away?
Dr. Buck Ruxton is then arrested in October of 1935 for the murder of his wife Isabella and their maid Mary Rogerson. He is found guilty and hanged for his crime right after the verdict.
Wow.
And so he wrote a letter to be opened upon his death, and in it was his confession.
You couldn't say it with your own mouth.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what he had said was he suspected Isabella was cheating on him, and he attacked her and strangled her to death. And as he's doing this, Mary witnesses it, so he has to kill her too.
Yeah.
And he thought he would get away with it if he dismembered them and concealed their identity by mutilating their bodies. And he would have gotten away for it if it weren't for them pesky maggots and Dr. Mearns and the investigators who were brilliant enough to think of this idea.
Seriously. That's amazing.
Amazing. So we're going to go back to our case in 2003.
Because they utilized that information.
No.
Oh, no?
This is kind of different, but it just shows the different facets of forensic entomology.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm thrilled by this. I love bugs.
Me too. The murder of Joni Harper, her children, and her mother. Vincent Brothers, her estranged husband, is the prime suspect. His car rental records are very suspicious, but there is no other real evidence that points to him as the killer. Just some smushed up bugs in the radiator of the Dodge Neon he'd rented in Columbus, Ohio. Could investigators turn to an entomologist for answers? Could insects prove he was in California at the time of the murders? Detectives turned to Dr. Lynn Kimsey, an entomologist, and she'd never done anything like this before, but she was willing to give it a try and kind of excited about it. Even though the Dodge Neon had been washed inside and out by the rental company, the radiator was still full of dead bugs, and so was the air filter. So police pulled those things out of the car and sent it to Dr. Lynn Kimsey. First, Dr. Kimsey removed all the insects from the radiator. She expected very little intact insects, but was surprised at the number of bugs she pulled out of the radiator.
I bet that did not
It was
smell
hundreds and hundreds of bug pieces.
good. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Where did he drive?
Oh, we'll get
He's
there.
at like 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess.
So, in the U.S. alone, there are over 200,000 species of insects. In California, over 100,000.
Wow.
She had her work cut out for her.
Wow. Okay.
In order to find out where each of the insects came from, Dr. Kimsey relied on collections of insects like the ones at the Smithsonian, which I have seen, like, some displays and stuff. I've been to the Smithsonian. Fucking rad, by the way.
I always love the bug section in museums.
God, yes. The Smithsonian houses over 33 million specimens residing in more than 130,000 drawers. Wow. Amazing world we live in, you know? Just the diversity of life.
I fucking love bugs, dude.
It gets me. It gets me in my nerd heart.
Dude.
Just slays me. Dr. Kimsey estimated that there were over 100 different types of insects in that radiator. Most were the common housefly. Those are found in every state in the U.S. But she also found honeybees, and those are one of the most common insects in the entire world.
Aw, you my honeybee.
But then suddenly, she finds one insect that stands out. And it is the leg portion of a grasshopper. Just its fucking leg.
Just the leg.
This one stood out because it had bright red legs. Most grasshoppers across the U.S. look very similar. They're all kind of green or like yellowy, but not this one. And it's called, aptly, the red shank grasshopper. It's very distinct and not native to Ohio and only found in places like Oklahoma and Texas. So he drove through Texas.
And that's where she's at. Sorry, I'm lost.
No. Okay. So he's in Ohio.
Yeah.
He has rented a car. He's driving back to California from Ohio, where he kills his wife in California.
Okay, she's in California.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so with insects, they're going to be able to plot the entire trip.
Yes.
It's just fucking nuts.
I getcha.
Okay.
I getcha. Yeah.
It would have been a slam dunk, except Vincent's credit card receipt showed that he was in Ohio at the times he said he was.
It's like insect GPS.
Detective Watts contacts the stores where Vincent bought things the day of the murder and the night of the murder. But when he speaks to clerks, it wasn't Vincent. It was his brother making the purchases and signing his name, Vincent's name, on the receipts. So that renders his alibi false.
And his brother is in on it.
Yeah, he never got charged, though.
What?
Detective Watts went back to Dr. Kimsey in order to place Vincent west of the Rockies and in California on the day of the murders. Dr. Kimsey found 3 other insects that proved the car did not stay in Ohio. In fact, the insects she found made a perfect map from Ohio to California. She even determined he had driven at night at some point because one of the bugs she recovered only came out at night. And this was the antlion from New Mexico, Nevada, and Arizona.
Yeah. If he's definitely going through the desert, then there's no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. Then she found 2 insects that were sort of rare. They're called true bugs, and they have a tubular mouth part, which means they pierce their food and suck up the goop and the nutrients. Kimsey identified these true bugs as the Pismid and the Elgiid. I can't say it. Whatever. Lygiid. The Pismid only lives in Utah and Arizona and the border of California, and the Lygiid's habitat extends further into California. The final nail in the coffin was the discovery of a paper wasp in the radiator. This particular species of paper wasp is only found in the extreme southwest of the United States and is particularly abundant in California. In April of 2004, Vincent Brothers was arrested for the murders of Ernestine, Joni, Marquess, Lindsay, and Marshall Harper. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. In May of 2023, Vincent Brothers was granted an extension to file an appeal of his death sentence, which is correct. That is how our justice system works. We love to see it.
Right.
He is now 61 years old and serving his sentence in San Quentin.
Oh, good. One of the worst ones.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Fuck him and fuck Chris Watts. I hate family annihilators.
I hope that he lives to be 120. Outlive.
Same girl. And here's his motive, as investigators later discovered. He was having an affair.
Yeah.
And he wanted to start his life over. He didn't want to be saddled with all that child support.
Those babes.
I got a word for any of those men out there that annihilate their families. It's called a divorce. It's a lot less expensive to pay child support than go to prison.
You can literally just write off your own children.
You still have to pay support.
So, sometimes there's loopholes in certain...
Not for him, there wouldn't have been. He had a good job. He would have had to pay out the ass.
Yeah, still, just fucking...
Deal with it!
It's just money.
Piece of fucking... A 6-week-old baby, you piece of crap. I can't. And that little baby's so scared he bit through his fingers.
Don't.
It just, y'all, it breaks me.
That's your baby. He trusted you.
So here's how far forensic entomology has come. With 3D imaging, it's so precise They can narrow down the time of death within hours and minutes using the life cycle of the blowfly.
Fucking
Dr. Mearns would just be like,
Yep.
yes. I don't know, y'all. I love this shit. I love
too.
forensics. I love forensic science. I'm really happy to share these with you. Patrons picked a really good theme this month.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love that one is like literally like insect GPS. Like it literally told you exactly
It told a
where
story.
they went. Yeah.
It told a story because nothing else would. And I love when the evidence tells the story.
Yes.
Hot.
Because
I love it.
It doesn't have any
Bias.
opinions. Yeah, there's no bias, there's no opinions. It's just
Science.
there.
It's just facts in there. They are all laid out for us.
the silent witness.
It is this, and they're the tiniest witnesses too. And I think it's just brilliant, as the British would say.
Yeah. It's bloody brilliant.
Yeah,
Yay.
you guys can say cool. I'm giving you permission as an American. Just say cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's universal by now, ain't it? No, you're just gonna say brilliant. That has so many syllables. There's just so many syllables. Just say cool. It's one.
I've noticed that because I've been doing a lot of cases in the UK lately.
Same.
And I've noticed that they say they describe things in a way that we would normally describe like good things, like tremendous, brilliant, things like that. We would
Fantastic.
normally
Yeah, big words.
Yes, we would always use those types of words with positive connotation, and in true crime cases, they'll use those types of words for
Negative.
Really, really big negative things too. So he had a fantastic way of chopping up bodies. It's like what?
Daddy,
That's not
chill.
Fantastic.
That sucks.
I know it's just kind of like
I love the cultural differences
it's a cultural
between
thing.
not only our language. Like, okay, yeah, if you hadn't noticed, I do poke fun at people's accents as I sound like a banjo sitting here.
Yeah, clearly. We can make fun of
But it's because I fucking love it. I love how you can travel to different parts of the United States and somebody will say shit and I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. They're speaking English, but what the fuck are they saying?
I
love it. Could eat it up.
Yeah.
I want to hear all your weird slang that you call
dialects.
That you call cats moggies. I just think, what the fuck is that? Why aren't you saying kitty? I don't know. But we named our cat Moggy because of that, because it amused us so much.
Right.
So now, you know what else amuses me? Business time. Oh, that was a smooth transition.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It's terrible. So, Patreon. If you want to help vote on themes, and if you want to help vote on cases we cover on Patreon, suggest cases, we have 3 to 4 bonus episodes a month on our Patreon, and these are full episodes. These are like 45 minutes to over an hour.
A lot of times it's over an hour.
A lot of times it is if you're doing it. You're more long-winded than me. We also have, and that's the T. That's where we do like just like case discussions. We'll be doing one of those very soon, actually. I just covered the Scott Peterson case on there, and that was terrible. I'm going to be covering Mary Bell. 11-year-old serial killer.
Right.
So if you want to, and that was voted on by patrons. So if you guys are interested in that, become a patron. And there's another benefit. I'm having a contest this month. If you become a patron, $5 and up, I will put your name in a drawing, and me and Maris will send you like so many goodies. You get a star chart.
And I have seen a lot of you guys become a $1 patron and then change it to $5.
That counts.
That counts. We see it. It's fine. Yeah, that counts too.
We got you. We got you. You're in it to win it.
Absolutely. Patreon is also a really difficult app to learn. If we ever find an equal or better
substitute,
app
we move
someday,
it because and also if you're listening and you're a former patron and your payment got declined, you can try again now. Patreon has fixed it.
Glitches sometimes. It's real strange.
It removed so many patrons.
Yeah, it did.
Because their cards were getting declined.
Yeah.
Even though they had money in them. Like, me and another patron went around and round with Patreon for like hours trying to figure it out. It's the only platform that does what it does as well as it does right now. If there's ever a better one, we'll move.
I wish I could make one myself, but
we're not that smart.
I'm not as good as I was in the early 2000s with MySpace and all that.
I can't make, the music play by itself.
I'm just too old now.
Yeah, so we'll give you a big prize package if you become a patron. In addition, I'm running a little special right now. I'm doing tarot readings, but not just tarot readings. You can get a tarot reading and an 8x10 original watercolor painting star chart. What that is Maris will take the date.
Any date.
Time and place, any date, your anniversary, a birthday, your gotcha day for your pet, the memorial of someone's death, and he will paint the position of the stars and constellations in a very old world, kind of old-timey way. Absolutely beautiful. Go to his Instagram if you want to see examples of his art and examples of the star charts. He posts every one that he completes, usually, unless he forgets.
And there's a highlight section with all of our Instagram accounts linked, so just go to the highlight.
Yes.
And yeah, he's in there.
And while I appreciate it, I'm currently closed for art commissions because I'm behind, and that's stressful. But Maris is not. So if you like his art and you don't want a star chart, reach out. We can work something out. He can paint just about anything and would be happy to paint something for you. I think, are you a small business? There's the thing I was forgetting. Come be a sponsor of this podcast. And because we're going to be small businesses lifting up other small businesses. We're all going to, we all can succeed.
We have many small businesses.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes, and I'm always advertising my own. So if you do that, just get in touch with us if you want to do that, and we'll do a little commercial for you. I will review your product very fairly and talk about it.
And give you a section in our highlights on Instagram.
And in the description of the podcast.
And link all of your information and all of that.
Indeed. So, yeah. Also, merch. We do have a new shirt. We're about to have another new one. We're about to have a Maris Monday shirt, which is a little chibi Maris getting abducted by a UFO. Very funny.
Oh, I love that.
And there's a Bigfoot in the background with a real big butt.
Jaeger.
Going, yes. And so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, click on that link in our link tree.
I need that. That's great.
Huh?
I need that. That's great.
I do too. And you can get you a short. I don't have that one up yet, but it will be this month, and I will let you all know.
And they'll
when
print
I do that.
on other things too. Like there's like
there's mugs and stickers and throws and all kinds of shit.
That's so cool. That'd be a cool blanket too.
It would be. Yeah. Oh my god, I want one now. There was something else. I don't remember. Oh, join our Discord. Stop being scared. Come talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm in there sporadically throughout the day.
I'm not in there enough, but if you guys bug me about it, I will.
I'm bugging you right now. Get in there. Willow's usually in there in the mornings. I'm in there in the afternoons, and then again in the late evenings, early mornings, because I'm weird. And like usually when I'm going to bed, I like to really like interact with the Discord because that's when I'm quiet and sitting still. And yeah, that's all I got. Unless you got any more business.
No, we're closing in on the. I think it's at the end of the month. The thing for reviews. Yes. We will do that drawing. If you want to leave us a nice review, then head over, do it, send us a screenshot, and we will make you a patron at the end of the month. Not everyone. We'll draw a name, so it's another contest. But that's all I got. I have no more thoughts. Yeah. Today was crazy. Yeah. So today, my middle child, who just turned 18. Oh, goodness, yeah.
Flew to Texas to attend their friend's wedding, and it is the first time they've ever been out of my clutches. Ever. And so, yes, I enjoyed the Barbie movie, but yes, I also cried the whole time.
Not because Barbie.
No, because that's my baby, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But I'm better now.
Anytime I have a loved one on an aeroplane, I
Sweaty
fucking hate planes, dude. I'm so scared. But every single time I have a loved one on an airplane, from the second that plane takes off to the second that plane lands, I am terrified, and I think that the worst things could happen.
Yeah, well, I was researching for Maris Monday. I'm not covering it this Monday. I'm covering the UFO situation in Peru.
I figured because you've talked about it so much
in Discord. Yeah. But after that, I'll be covering the MH370 flight, the Malaysian flight that went missing. There's so many conspiracies about it, but I want to do it in a respectful way, probably mostly debunking. Although there's a video going around right now that's really interesting. I will be linking that. It's in the mainstream media news again, and yes, it's about aliens because of course it is. So yeah, you don't want to miss those Maris Mondays. Yeah. They're going to be super good. But yeah, when you're putting your child on a plane, don't go watch things about exploding planes.
Don't do it.
Because then you're going to have diarrhea and you'll be sweaty all night.
Yeah, don't do it.
And you'll have nightmares. And then you almost cry and tell your kid, don't go. But you don't do that because that's fucked up and neurotic. That was my day.
Yeah.
and I ate some bad Chinese food. My tummy hurts. That's it. That's all I got. But if all you can do to support this podcast is listen,
Thank you so
please
much.
know that we appreciate you. And hello, all you new listeners. We see you.
Yeah, girl.
When I refresh and I check the numbers like a maniac, like I do every day, I'm like in awe every day. I'm like, oh, new people, I see you. And, you
People
know,
always ask us what we mean by that because I know nobody really understands that unless you're a fellow podcaster.
that's true.
But you can see the numbers of downloads each episode gets.
Yes.
Not streams, but downloads.
We do not know how many streams we
have
get.
no idea. And then you can't see like where individual ones are coming from, but you can see what episodes.
I can see where the downloads are coming from.
Not like actively.
Oh, no, I
Like,
can't see like your house. I can just see the regions they're coming from.
Yes.
But not individually,
Yeah.
but more like a pie chart. Like today you got we have so many listeners in Australia and the UK.
That's really exciting.
And now El Salvador.
That's awesome.
We are ranking in El Salvador.
And a lot of y'all from different countries and different places all over the world have come into our Discord too, and so it's made the world smaller
In the best way.
in the best way because it feels so lonely here in the woods of Arkansas where you don't
we're in
have
the
any
middle of
friends and it's just us.
Yeah.
It makes it feel more connected and it's exciting. It's really exciting.
I really do love
Really,
talking to
really
all
love
y'all, and I just want to say that you send the nicest messages.
Yeah.
They make my day brighter. They touch my heart and humble me.
And I fucking love hearing your point of view and your
Yes.
side of your story. Absolutely fascinating. You're all individual. Like you are all so unique, and I enjoy getting to know you.
And I'm glad that we're coming together to respect victims, tell their stories.
It kind of feels like you have a second just to sit and be with them for a second.
It does,
and
to hold space.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me.
Because I know that the true crime communities can be toxic.
Yes.
And, us victims and recovering people and
I've seen some real poisonous
survivors and stuff like that. We kind of need this information just so we don't feel so out of touch with reality. Because a lot of things that we've been through have shaken us.
shit. And you feel like you've gone through it alone.
So you need to feel like you need to hear other people's points of views and other people's stories so that way you don't feel like you're the only one that witnessed something really fucked up.
Yes.
It
makes you feel more human and less alien and alone. And that is what I think more than anything doing this I've learned.
Right.
Is that I'm not alone.
Right.
I hate that I'm not alone. I wish that those things had only happened to me. But
Right.
I think we are stronger, and we've created a really lovely community of very respectful, very kind people. And I appreciate our listeners so much. I do not have words.
Yeah, I've only grown more morally as a person.
This has made me a better person.
It's
for
definitely
sure.
made me a better person and will continue to do so.
Yeah, I try
know
every
that.
day. Try every day to do y'all right.
And them.
Yeah, and the victims too.
Yeah.
To tell their stories right.
And become a better person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
For real,
so all I got left is I love you
I'm gonna go
guys.
cry now.
We're going to go cry.
Bye.
Bye. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Louie.